Giants for a while, the Reds, and then, of course, ABC. Do you think of Al Michaels, though, as a baseball broadcaster? Well, we'll get into that a little bit later on, but he's going into the Hall of Fame. To this day, as far as I know, and I'm not the crack research team. I'm an okay researcher, but I'm not the crack research team. To this day, as far as I know, we still do not know the identity of the one writer who completely left Jeet off his ballot. Remember, all you had to do is appear on, you could put as many as 10 names on a ballot if you're a Hall of Fame voter. You could put as many as 10 names on the ballot. And all you've got to do, it doesn't matter, first, second, third, fourth, that doesn't matter. You just make out your ballot of Hall of Famers. And if you appear on 75% of the ballots, you are inducted into the Hall of Fame, elected to the Hall of Fame. One guy, there's only been one unanimous selection ever, Mariano Rivera. One guy made out a Hall of Fame ballot and left Derek Jeter off it. Left Derek Jeter off it altogether. Nobody knows why. As far as I know, nobody knows who it is. Because you don't have to reveal, not everybody, like 315 of the 397 voters made their ballots public. So you don't have to make your ballot public. I may be totally wrong on if we know this guy, but I think it could become one of the great baseball mysteries, you know what I mean? Unless it isn't. Unless we know who it is. But my quick research on the Google machine came up with Stones. I don't. This is all you need to know if you were making out a ballot. Look, was Derek Jeter the greatest defensive shortstop ever? No. Was Derek Jeter even really an average? He's a little less than average. As he had bad range to his left. We know that. He made spectacular plays. But as a routine, look, when A-Rod got there, Jeter wasn't even the best shortstop on the team. But A-Rod knew that it was Jeet's team. Jeet did not want to move to third. So A-Rod moved to third. A-Rod's one of the greatest shortstops ever. Juice didn't help A-Rod at shortstop. A-Rod was one of the top three. I think Honus Wagner and one other guy, Ozzie Smith maybe, rank ahead of A-Rod in terms of, war for shortstops and all, whatever they do, to figure all of that out. A-Rod is like the third greatest shortstop in the history of baseball. Jeter, they listed the top 500. Jeter came in at 497 in terms of his actual range, playmaking ability, and so on. But this is what you need to know. There was no one that was more clutch, not even Reggie Jackson. No player in Major League Baseball history has played more games and scored more runs and collected more hits during an era in which his team made the playoffs every single year than Derek Jeter. His team made the playoffs every single year for 13 years. And he led the league, led the team, I should say. He led his team in games. He led his team in runs. He led his team with 2,356 hits during the 13-year run. Oh, by the way, they won 4 World Series. The streak ended. Then they added another World Series, his 5th, in 2009. You know who the next closest is? Chipper Jones. Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones. He led the Braves in games, 1,651, which is less than Jeet. Runs, 1,100. And hits, 1,800 from 1991 to 2005. So in a 14-year span that the Braves made the playoffs every year, Chipper Jones is second. He never surpassed Jeter 13-year run during that entire time, even if you include the strike-shortened 1994 season when Jeter wasn't playing. And Atlanta won, of course, as we know, one World Series during that record-setting 14-year run. Coming up in a few minutes, David Moulton from the SEC on CBS, which isn't on CBS yet because of the tennis tournament. And the NFL on Fox will join us. He has a very special game on Saturday. He they have Air Force and Navy. Of course, it's 9/11 Saturday. They'll be at Annapolis for Air Force and Navy. David is the booth researcher for these guys. He's the one that's handing the notes to Gary Danielson and, keeping these guys up to snuff. It'd be interesting. How do you research for 9/11? It's going to be a very moving day. He'll also be in, I think, New Orleans. I might be lying. I think he's in New Orleans on Sunday with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. He is their booth researcher as well. So he sits side by each with those guys. At the top of the 11, we have a Caray's Corner with Josh Caray of the Trash Pandas. Now, Josh's grandfather, Harry Caray, is in the Hall of Fame. And to be honest with you, I am not sure why his dad, Harry Jr., of course, as we know, is Skip Caray. I mean, Grizz, nod your head if you agree. Why is Skip Caray not in the Hall of Fame? I mean, is Skip Caray not a Hall of Fame broadcaster? I mean, I'd nod yes on Skip Caray as a Hall of Fame broadcaster. Trash Pandas are still in the hunt, by the way, for the championship series. We'll update that with Josh. Any day now, I don't know, maybe today. I haven't looked at the ESPN.com in the last 15 minutes. Maybe today, the Big 12 is going to invite Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU to their league, which would get the 12, to 12 after the departure of Oklahoma and Texas. Is this enough? Well, you know what? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because it takes a big chunk out of the American. When you take Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston and add an independent like BYU that's got national cachet, yeah. No, this should be good for the 12. I'll be honest with you. You add them to, Baylor and TCU and Texas Tech and Oklahoma State and Iowa State, who's a top 10 team right now, till Iowa beats them on Saturday. Yeah. What I don't understand is why not Memphis and USF as well? I mean, Memphis is a huge market, good team, and very good for the basketball league. Stop me if I'm lying. Memphis would be good for the basketball league, and it's a good football team, and it's in a huge TV market, right? And then why not USF? Tampa, huge TV market. You're going to get Orlando at UCF. You get Tampa at USF. And I got to be honest with you, man. The UCF-USF deal, that's a poor man's Iron Bowl or Red River Shootout. It's the war on I-4. The war on I-4 has some juice, man. It's not the Red River Shootout, which will continue as an SEC deal. It's not the Iron Bowl. It's not Michigan-Ohio State. But I'll tell you what it is. It's like the Civil War. It's like the Apple Cup. I think it's a worthy thing. I think they ought to. Of course, we got the Holy War this weekend, right? BYU and Utah, Mormons and Christians. The Holy War. Or is it Mormons and Christians or Mormons and Mormons? I don't know. Anyway, they call it the Holy War. But this is the war on I-4. That's already a thing. UCF and USF. All right, over there in a little glass room, playing the Platters of Matter and Sacks of Wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air and just having a big old time. It's Coach Chris.
Do you know who I am?
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and pollen.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You don't ever say that to me. Bullcrap.
There won't be any misinformation. There won't be any false statements. There won't be any hearsay.
How come there ain't no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek?
You ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
You ask a question every week that I don't know anything about.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
You do what everybody else in the media does, just create some and throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
I ain't gonna be buried. I want a taxidermist to stuff me. Say hello to my new
friend. Chris, I think I said that Moulton will be in New Orleans with the Packers and the Saints. Actually, that game's in Jacksonville.
Yeah, it got moved.
Yeah, that's right. It got moved because it's in
It's going to be weird seeing them play outdoors for a home game.
It'll be weird seeing them play on grass.
That too.
Is it advantage Green Bay?
I don't know necessarily when it comes to that because when
Saints fans make the trip, A, and 2, Green Bay has fans everywhere.
Right.
See, there are Packer fans
they come out the
everywhere. You know, they're Packers are like Cowboys and Steelers and Browns. There are fans everywhere. So you wonder, it's a good question for Moulton, you wonder whether or not there may actually be more Green Bay fans in the stands than Saints fans in the stands.
They do travel. Because they do travel because they definitely show up. I mean, even just for a regular season game against the Falcons quite a few years back. I mean, I just saw it was shades of green everywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And even at the bars outside. I mean, it's just and people that actually live in Atlanta, you know. So I mean, they are huge and they love they're huge and they love their fan base.
When I was doing pregame for the Titans, whenever the Packers, the Cowboys, or the Steelers were playing in Nashville, oh my gosh. Especially as far back as I started in 2007 doing that.
Right.
So remember, they're only in Nashville. At 2007, they'd only been in Nashville for 8 years. 7 years, right? They came to Nashville. Well, it would have been, 1999, 1998, something like that was the first year in Nashville when they played at Vandy as the Oilers. And then but they travel like crazy. And it would be overrun with green and gold, black and gold, or white and Honolulu blue, whatever that is, that the Cowboys wear. Grizz, I got to ask you.
What's up?
This new song, or this new commercial that Applebee's put out.
I knew where this was going.
Apparently a bunch of people are actually like flipping out. They hate it. It rolled out during the SEC Saturday, right? I mean, or during the college football Saturday. It's over the weekend, okay? They rolled it out over the weekend.
Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Got that Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake and some whipped cream on the top two. 2 straws, 1 check, girl, I got you. Bougie like Natty in the styrofoam. Squeaking in the truck, bed all the way
Chris can't stand my dance.
Alabama jammer, she my Dixieland delight. That's how we do, fancy like.
I kind of like it.
I don't know what this dance is, but
I don't know what that is. Was I doing that? Was I doing this here?
You're doing this and then this. I didn't know if it was
doing
the
a lawnmower.
dance.
Drop the lawnmower in there a little bit.
I didn't know if it was the dance from Grease.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if that song is a song, Fancy Like, if it's some other song. But why are people hating on that? I kind of like that. It's got a little bit of country two-step. I
think it's just because it's everywhere. So like, if you watch TikTok videos, if you're on social media, it's like every digital advertisement.
Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's.
Who is that? Luke Combs, whatever.
I don't know who's
country
singing
star
it.
right now. I don't know.
Got that Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake.
Is this Jason Aldean? I don't know.
On the top 2 straws, 1 check.
That might end up.
Bougie like Natty.
That might end up a cut. That might end up a video cut. Right?
My goodness,
Chris,
like
that might end up being reposted as a video.
Hopefully, Twitch and YouTube. Well, hopefully Twitch and YouTube don't shut us down because of that. Who knows? Well, maybe it's more
Applebee's
advertising.
Commercial.
That's true. It's more advertising.
I like Applebee's. You know what I mean? I like Applebee's, so maybe that's part of it. But I like the.
In the styrofoam, squeaking in the truck, bed all the way home. Alabama jammer, she my Dixieland delight.
Oh, a little Bama jammer and a Dixieland delight. I mean, come on.
That's true. Everybody's gonna go to Applebee's tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, a little Bama jammer, Dixieland delight. I mean, come on.
All it is subliminal advertising for you to go to Applebee's or drink a Natty Light.
And
because now all I want is a Natty Light and Applebee's.
Of course, I never understand the Dixieland Delight Alabama thing because Dixieland Delight is I know it was done by Alabama, but it's a Tennessee song. It's a Tennessee Saturday night. I don't understand how the state of Alabama ripped off everything from Tennessee, including it ripped their football team's heart out, and they took their song.
They are musicians. They don't know. They don't know.
Thank God.
Did you seriously watch Game Day last weekend? Can I talk about this one real quick?
I listened to it on the radio. Actually,
okay,
I did not watch it.
You know when they had the guest picker, They had Kane Brown on. And
Who
I
the hell
swear,
is Kane Brown?
some country music singer. I have no idea.
I don't know
but
either.
apparently he's like a guest picker for the Clemson-Georgia game. This guy was picking every team because it was like his favorite team or his second favorite team. He said Kansas State was his second favorite team.
Well, that's what guest pickers do. Maybe he's from Manhattan.
But I mean, like, if you're going to have a guest, they have good guest pickers on there sometimes. And when you get a guy like this that's very popular, like, he doesn't know, like, anything about what's going on, and it's just like, oh, it was just terrible to listen to. I mean,
sometimes they got good ones, and sometimes they got idiots.
Oh, my
Apparently
goodness.
this week they
that
had
was
an idiot.
awful this
But
weekend.
that new song, I like that. What is it, South? The South is something about the South. What's that new song that they're playing? I don't know if it was on that. There's just
on game day?
Yeah.
Oh, is it not? Oh, man, I didn't
What
see the
was the-
beginning. Is it not Brooks and Dunn coming to your city
No, I think
anymore?
they got a new. We're coming to your town. No,
Yeah.
I think they got a new one. No, that was Big and Rich.
Oh, Big
Not
and Rich,
Brooks
yeah,
Dunn.
sorry. I don't remember. I know country, but not everybody.
Yeah. What's that song? The Strong South Strong or Strong of the Songs? Is there
Song
some
of the
song?
South?
No, it's not. It's a new song. That's something. I mean, it's not as catchy quite as
That's how we do, fancy like.
It's not like that. You know what I mean? But let me get Badger Larry in here quick. Badger Larry, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing good, and I must admit that song is catchy. I've noticed it Saturday myself.
Yeah.
I had to stop and actually look at it. So I mean,
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do too.
I like it too.
Yeah.
So
I
what's
like
up?
it. I like it a lot better than Mike Shula being the play caller for Wisconsin. I didn't know they hired him to call the game like that. So
Your quarterback's got issues too, though. I mean, he was great last year in like week 1, and ever since then he's kind of sucked a little bit. That Graham
well,
Mertz
let me
is
tell
not
you
great.
why though. I mean, there is a reason why when the defense knows when you're going to throw it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that when you run it up the middle every first down and every second down, and they got to throw it on third down, it makes it a little harder on the quarterback. You might let them throw it once in a while on first down. I mean, it was like Mike Shula all over again.
Yeah.
That was his problem. Every time he got to the red zone, run it up the middle. That's what
Right.
got him fired. So same deal.
He had a minute. He was a good play caller for the Carolina Panthers. I think he was the OC for the Carolina Panthers when they went to the Super Bowl in 2015. Yeah.
Was he actually calling the plays though?
Yeah, for Cam. Yeah.
He wasn't bad with Cam. Like,
Yeah, because he wouldn't pay attention to the play.
Oh yeah.
but also,
you didn't have Mac Jones back then. Mac Jones was in like 8th grade, and he would have to teach Cam, how to because Mac Jones apparently was teaching Cam the plays at New England. He was like teaching him the playbook at New England. So maybe when Mac Jones was in the 8th grade, he was teaching Cam the playbook at Carolina.
Yeah. As far as the Packer game Sunday in Jacksonville, it's going to be green and gold. I can tell you right now. From what I understand, it was going to be that way in New Orleans too. By the way, I was actually going.
No, New Orleans rolls out for New Orleans. I mean, they're sold out. They would have been sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, green and gold slips in, but not like this. This will be a Packer home game, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I do because I know. I mean, I've been seeing how many people are picking up tickets and extra tickets and so on. I was thinking about going myself, but it was a little short notice to be able to do it. So, but it'll definitely be Greenville. I always go. If they ever play Tennessee or Atlanta, I go every time.
And it's not far to go to Jacksonville. I didn't think that. I mean, the game's not sold. There must be tickets available. You would think.
Well, there was because I was looking at when they first announced it last week. There was tickets, and I know the Packer website that does all their away games and stuff had a bunch of them, but the good stuff was gone quick. So I can tell you that.
So I hear you.
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I like the Packers in the game. Yeah,
yeah. The heat will make a little difference, but playing on grass outdoors, I think is kind of an advantage for us too.
And it might not be too bad down there this Sunday. We'll see, but yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. Let's get a break in here. When we come back, David Moulton will join us, and we'll talk college football with him. Maybe get a take on him on this Hall of Fame vote as well. We'll talk to David Moulton next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
BMW Championship underway Thursday. Victor Hovland plus 1,000. Shane Lowry, Terrell Hatton at plus 1,800. Alex Nord, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Tommy Fleetwood at plus 2,000. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega will battle for the featherweight title in the main event for UFC 266 in Vegas September 25th. Volkanovski the favorite minus 170. Ortega at plus 140. Tomorrow night, the 2021 NFL season kicks off in Tampa. The Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay an 8-point favorite, the over-under 51.5. Cowboys 2-8 straight up and against the spread in its last 10 road games. They're 7-1 straight up in its last 8 games against Tampa Bay.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Wednesday, expect plenty of sunshine. High temperatures will be topping out in the mid to upper 80s for the afternoon. We could see one or two a passing shower in the afternoon, but most areas will be remaining dry. For your Wednesday night, expect a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures will fall into the lower 60s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on her home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
On a date night,
telling you, man. I cannot sit still during this. I mean, people can hate on it all you want, but I'm telling you, I could not. If I don't get a sponsorship from Applebee's out of that deal, I'm going to hate Applebee's. Okay, I will hate them. They should. As much as I've been playing this thing, I mean.
One shot, girl, I got you. Bougie like Natty in the styrofoam, squeaking in the truck, headed all the way home. Some Alabama Jamma, she my Dixieland delight.
Alabama Jamma and a Dixieland delight. How could you not love that song? How could you not love that song? People are like losing their mind. They hate it. They can't stand it. They don't want to hear it anymore. They played it all weekend long during the college football, which I'm jumping around so much games, I don't know that I saw a commercial. I got to be totally honest with you. All right, joining us now, a guy that will be busy from this weekend till the end of the NFL season, because that's just the way he rolls. He is David Moulton, longtime friend. Glad that he is joining us now on a weekly basis, and he is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. David, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Tom. It's football season. Let's go.
It is football season, and I can't stop listening to that Applebee's commercial that aired over the weekend.
I know that's a character flaw by you, but that's okay.
I got a little groove going, man. I can't stop dancing to it when it,
Tom, I love you. Okay, when's the last time you had a little groove going?
About 15 minutes ago when I first played it the first time, but only in my chair. You know what I mean? I got like that chair groove going, Yeah. That's the best place for me to dance. Yeah.
I was going to say, Tom, if chair dancing counts, okay. Yes. Otherwise, I'm thinking like sometime during the Yankees' late 90s dynastic run.
Certainly not in the late of the Yankees. Okay. Certainly not the last week of the Yankees. That's for sure. They got me throwing up in my chair a little bit, but I can get down with that groove there, man. I get the little white man overbite going and kind of get a little groove going, and it's good stuff.
Oh my goodness!
We got to get a new pitcher
right now.
Yeah,
if
right.
Your wife is listening right now. She's like, I got to call in and set the record straight.
Yeah, she never listens to the show. She's out delivering Meals on Wheels today, so who knows? She might be listening. We need a new pitcher for David Moulton. Can we find a picture of you with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, or you with Gary or something? We keep using this 100-year-old picture of you from TV back in the day. We got to come up with a better picture.
Well, it's okay. First off, I've always been fat, so you're not going to find a skinny picture of me. And secondly, I have more pepper there than salt, which is not the case today. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but when you have a tie on, and you know this because I'm a fat guy too, whenever we put a tie on and a shirt and you clip the shirt, all of that crap comes out the top of the collar. You know what I mean? It's like it's better off to go open collar. Yeah,
Right, right. You look like the scruff on a bulldog's neck. Right.
Yes, exactly. Before we get to the college football weekend and the NFL that's coming up, the Baseball Hall of Fame induction is today, and Derek Jeter goes in. I, for the life of me, can't figure out. I don't think we know, and it maybe go down as one of the great mysteries in Hall of Fame history, who the one writer is that didn't scratch Derek Jeter's name on a ballot anywhere on the ballot 2 years ago when they voted for this 2020 class. I mean, how do you leave Derek? I know he wasn't the most smooth, shortstop ever, but just the overall body of his career. How do you not put Derek Jeter on your ballot?
Well, listen, if you go back in time and you take a look at the fact that, 23 people didn't vote for Hank Aaron,
yeah, right.
20-something people didn't vote for Willie Mays. I mean, what the heck? But yes, whoever the unnamed baseball writer is, he's the Fred Hickman, if you will, who famously was the one vote that kept Shaq from being a unanimous MVP one year.
Yeah. I think Ken Griffey Jr. was within one or two as well, which is asinine.
Yeah, I mean, just preposterous. Let me get this straight. 5 Gold Gloves, 5 World Series championships, 6th all-time in hits, and the only Yankee with over 3,000 hits. I mean, if they're considering whether or not you are on the Mount Rushmore of Yankees, I think you should be a unanimous Hall of Famer.
See, I don't think he's the greatest player to ever play for the Yankees.
No.
I think Babe, Lou, Joe, Yogi, Mickey, all those better players. I think he's the greatest Yankee, though. I really do. I think he's the greatest embodiment of a Yankee. The way he played, the flip against Oakland, the diving into the seats, the home run for his 3,000th hit, going 5 for 5 that day, the home run in November. I mean, he's always in the middle. He's like the Forrest Gump of baseball. He was in the middle of everything, it seemed like. If it was dramatic, Derek Jeter was there.
Well, he's the greatest Yankee of the last 50 years, which is saying something.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else, whether it was Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, they were all pre-1970. Yogi Berra, Bill Dickey, they were all pre-1970. So to say that's the greatest Yankee of the last 50 years is a mouthful.
So my producer changed the picture. He put up a picture of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and no David Moulton at all. So
there you go.
So
that works.
Your name is up there, but
that's Sunday afternoon right there.
Oh, is he the shadow guy in the background? Oh, okay. All right, he's that guy in the background with the shadow. Okay, all right, I get it now. Well, speaking of announcers, I was a little I'm an Al Michaels fan, but I'm a little curious about Al Michaels going in as a broadcaster. Now, Josh Caray will be joining us a little bit later on, and he is Harry Caray's grandson and Chip Caray's son. I was surprised to look at the Ford Frick winners and note that Chip Caray is not in. I thought Chip Caray should be in, but when Al Michaels had some great baseball national ABC moments, certainly, the Earthquake World Series and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't think of Al Michaels as a baseball broadcaster, yet he goes in with the Ford Frick Award.
Well, I think a lot of people were surprised that Joe Buck went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame before he went into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Because I think now maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, Joe first arrived on the national scene doing the World Series for Fox in '96 before he did his first Super Bowl for Fox nearly 10 years later. But I think this is there was a big push behind the scenes to have the Baseball Hall of Fame recognize baseball in the 20th century. There's been a push to put Dizzy Dean in as a broadcaster because he was one of the national voices for 15, 20 years. And Al Michaels came up, he did his first World Series in 72 when NBC did baseball, and Curt Gowdy was the main voice, and then they would grab the announcer for whatever stadium they were in. So that A's-Reds World Series, Al was doing the Reds.
Right.
So the 4 games in Cincinnati, Al did it with Curt Gowdy, and the 3 games in Oakland, the legendary A's announcer did the games. And so, Al had a 25-plus year run of national baseball.
I guess he did
the
Giants.
86 LCS, the infamous Game 5, the Donnie Moore game, the Red Sox Angels, obviously the Earthquake. I mean, he got nominated for an Emmy that night in news.
That's true.
He was so good on the Earthquake.
I think Chip Caray should be in. I didn't realize Joe wasn't into baseball, but I'll tell you what. Kurt Smith told me this. You don't have to comment on it because you're a friend of him, of Joe's. But Kurt Smith, the great baseball writer who wrote Voices of the Game and so many other great pieces on broadcasting, Kurt told me that Joe doesn't like baseball very much. I mean, he did baseball because he had to do baseball, and it was the mindset, he's Jack Buck's kid and the Cardinals and all of that kind of stuff. But Joe much prefers doing a football game than a baseball game, and fashions himself as a football broadcaster more than a baseball broadcaster.
Now, I don't think that was always the case.
Maybe 20 years ago. Yeah.
Now, that has become the case.
Yeah. David Moulton with us here. All right. Any minute now, the Big 12 is going to invite UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, allegedly, which will get them to 12 once Oklahoma and Texas leaves. I actually think this is really good. I mean, it's a big blow to the American, but I guess in my mindset, why stop there? Why not Memphis, big TV market, great help for you in basketball and a pretty decent little football team. And how do you take UCF without taking USF and have the war on I-4? I mean, every conference needs these big rivalry games. I think the war on I-4, why wouldn't they invite USF and Memphis as well to get to 14 at least? What's your thought?
I don't think TV markets are as big as it used to be. I mean, if you go back 8-10 years, that's why all these moves were made. Oh, well, we need to get this top 20 market, this top 30 market. Now it's streaming, Tom. The markets, I don't want to say they're irrelevant, but it's not nearly as big a factor. I mean, because think about it. You go back 10 years. Ask the Big Ten, who invited Rutgers and Maryland into their conference specifically for the New York, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. television markets.
Right.
10 years later, if you said to them, would you make that move again? They'd go, hell no. Because it's irrelevant now. It's all about who's going to pay $4.99 a game or $5.99 a month or whatever to stream a football game. That's the future going forward. And so I'm fine with them leaving Memphis out because, unfortunately, no other sport counts but football anymore. Now, I don't feel that way, but that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, but this is a football team that was they were a top 20 team just 2 years ago.
No, I understand that. And I think that college sports is bigger in Memphis than pro sports. I think it's a great market.
Right.
But, they didn't make the cut. I can understand why USF doesn't make the cut, though. The conferences don't care about the rivalries. And UCF, much like A&M, UCF's always been trying to get away from USF, just like A&M's always been trying to get away from Texas. So I'm sure, I don't want to say it was a condition, but if it was brought up, UCF would be like, hell no, we don't want them coming with us. Because for the longest time, Tom, when you were in Florida, USF was trying to stiff-arm UCF and make sure that they were never in the conference that they were in.
David Moulton with us here. All right, so on Saturday, you've got a very, very interesting game. So you have a block of time available with CBS. There are two SEC games of note, Texas and Arkansas, which is going to be fascinating when it becomes a league deal, and that'll be part of that story. ESPN has snagged that, and Pitt and Tennessee, which is another ESPN game. Our friend Tom Luganville will be on that broadcast. But they're not necessarily carrying the juice, of a SEC on CBS. CBS decides to go with the very poignant Air Force at Navy game out of Annapolis on 9/11. Talk to me about that decision, and talk to me about researching. You do all this research for the crew. How much of your research is about the teams in the game? How much of your research really has been based around 9/11?
Very little research about 9/11 because both the Air Force and Navy have provided a lot of that. And I also don't know how much Brad and Gary are going to want to talk about it. I honestly don't know.
Can't avoid it, though, can you?
No. Obviously, you can't avoid it. But I don't know if you want it to be a 3.5-hour epilogue, or is it something that they're going to periodically work in? Is it only going to be at the beginning? I don't know how the broadcast is going to be handled.
Yeah.
A little bit of research, obviously, about Air Force and Navy doesn't have a quarterback, and that offense doesn't work without one, so they're in big trouble. I mean, they really are. They could have a really, rough season. Here's my understanding as to why that game is on. CBS does not have contractual rights to the SEC the first 2 weeks of the season. This goes all the way back to the TV deal 25 years ago when CBS used to carry U.S. Open tennis. And so they didn't have the time to run the SEC the first 2 weeks.
Right.
So my understanding is when the deals kept being renewed, they never changed the, hey, you get to also televise games week 1 and week 2. So when in the past, when we've done the rare SEC game week 1 or week 2, there was always some deal that was made between the networks. All right. This time around, and in the last few years, ABC and ESPN have been not giving up games that they own. They're like, no, we'll air it. It's like, oh, okay. So, we've had years where we haven't done any games. We decided, I say we, but CBS clearly took a look at the calendar and said, well, we could put Air Force Navy. They were going to have the game anyway, but they're like, might as well put this on CBS instead of CBS Sports Network. And I think for the obvious reason, it works.
Can we quickly tell the story? You and I connected at the hip on 9/11, 2001. I was broadcasting from McDonald's in Southwest Florida, one of the many locations there, and was on the air. One of our great listeners, Mike from Minnie, phoned in and had, we didn't have TVs at the McDonald's and TVs even in the studio in 2001, so nobody knew what was going on. And then all of a sudden, we heard about it. We put the listener on the air during my show. I then did the next hour and a half or two just strictly trying to pass along information when we realized that our listeners, we were the only connection to them as to what was going on. It was panic. People were going and gathering their kids. My wife went and got our kids from Tanglewood Elementary School and got them out of school and everything else. I then handed off to you. I think you went 6 hours straight. Yeah, you went 6 hours straight on this, and then ABC News took over the ESPN affiliates, and you and I were off the air for 2 weeks. Do I remember all of this about right?
I think we were off the next week. I also, at the time, was a local TV sports guy, so obviously wasn't a whole lot of sports that day. So I had the day off, or so I thought. Did the 6 hour shift commercial free on our radio station, went home, the phone rang, and they said, hey, we need you to anchor the 11 o'clock news.
Wow.
So I did, it's the only, in a 20-year local TV career, the only tape I have is that newscast.
Maybe they'd ended your career on TV. I don't know.
There was a little poignant story, though. We all had people that we cross in our lives, and I had a good relationship with a guy at the bakery at the local grocery store. And I went in, and he was ashen. And I go, what's wrong? He goes, I can't get a hold of my sister.
Oh.
And she worked in the towers. And so I took down his name and his number, and I gave him my number, and I said, hey, I'm going in to work. I go, can you call and give us an update? So at the beginning of the newscast, I mentioned him and his sister by name and said, he, like many, are, desperately searching for news as to their loved ones. And amazingly, 25 minutes later, by the end of the newscast, he called in and he said, they found my sister.
Wow.
She's okay.
See, we all have little memories.
Bookend.
Right. Yep. We all have little memories of it. It was my birthday, and our producer at the time, he had done a little bit where he said we got breaking news, and then he had a tape that he put together of all the people in the building wishing me happy birthday. And then when he came back 20 minutes later, Kenny Patrick, when he came back 20 minutes later, he said we got more breaking news, and I thought it was a gag. I thought it was another gag, and it turned out to be what it was. All right, before I let you go, you'll be in Jacksonville with Buck and Aikman for the Packers and the New Orleans Saints on grass, outdoors. We just had a Packer fan call right before the end of the last segment, and he agrees with me. I think it's a Packers home game. What do you think? I don't think the Saints fan it's going to be a Packer home game, isn't it?
For a bunch of reasons. Obviously, everybody in Louisiana hit by the storm. Don't really know if they have the disposable income to drive, and it's a healthy drive. It's about 7 hours on I-10 to go from New Orleans to Jacksonville, maybe 8. And that's number one. Number two, it's a late afternoon game. So it's not one of those, you can't go and come back really in the same day. You got to get a hotel room. I think it's too much money. Packers fans, meanwhile, will go to Europe to see their team play. So it's why, by the way, the game's in Jacksonville. I mean, the Saints made no bones about it. They went on the internet. They tried to find a stadium that was near enough to them that was the most difficult for Packers fans to get direct flights in and out of. And that's why they chose Jacksonville, specifically to have as few Packer fans at the game as possible.
No luck with that. Packer fans are everywhere. I mean, they're just
Right.
everywhere. So
like
you're not
Steeler fans, right?
Yeah, right. They're like Steeler and Cowboys.
Packer fans in that stadium.
Right. They're going to. I'm surprised they didn't maybe try to jump into one of the college stadiums. You know, maybe jump up to Tuscaloosa.
No. I think there's a rule, and I don't know if it came because of Katrina or if the Saints, but I read something when the decision was made on Jacksonville. I don't know if it's an NFL rule or the Saints put their foot down, but the decision was made or has been made. There will be no NFL games in college stadiums.
Okay.
So that's
I know
why
they played at
Austin
Baton Rouge after
right,
Katrina,
back
but that's
in 2005, right?
Right. David Moulton has been our guest. David, I appreciate you so much, and have a good, busy week, and we'll chat again next week.
All right, and an early happy birthday to you, Tom.
Oh, thank you. I apprite that. David Moulton.
Go get that Applebee's groove on there.
I got to get my Applebee's groove on, yeah. Yeah, people can see
Right.
that. They can see it on online, me dancing to the Applebee's song. All right, man. Appreciate you.
I envision you as like the chipmunk in Caddyshack, or the gopher.
That's exactly That's exactly my groove, man. The chipmunk and Caddyshack. Good job by you. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, let's get a break. We'll come back and wrap this hour up next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com. Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Orange is the color of power, of progress, the color of Kubota and Huntsville Tractor and Equipment. Those who need to get things done, trust Kubota's L and M Series tractors, zero-turn mowers, the fun sidekick, from one of the top dealers in the country. More than 50 years of family service, every part in the book, and folks who know what to do with them. You'll be seeing Orange with Huntsville Tractor and Equipment.
Come on, let's go to work.
Welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. All right, hour number 1 is in the hopper. Wasn't long there. As I do typically in that first segment. That's a bad job by me. That's bad radio work by me. But when we When we come back, Josh Caray will join us. Little Caray's Corner. I got stuff to get to for the rest of the show as well, including the Bryce Young podcast, which debuts with Jake Crane from the J-Boy Show. Does a tremendous job there. Friend of the morning show as well. And Colin Cowherd, I'll give you my take on that. Also, the Washington football team is down to 8 names. All of them pretty much suck. We'll get to that too. It's all coming up. It's the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Brooks & Collier has always been about making the most of your outdoors. Our lush greenhouse and new furniture ideas will inspire you, but we're also about value. Our brands are so handsome, they'll make themselves comfortable inside or out, and so well made, they'll weather the weather for many years to come. Our staff can consult you on the right choices, and Lucy for sure can show us the sofa that's the most comfortable. Make the most of your outdoors. Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Dollar General is a proud sponsor of the 2021 ESPN Events College Football Tailgate Tour. Looking for really low prices on the items you use most? Then stop in at your nearby Dollar General, where you can get in, get out, and get on your way. Dollar General is your official retailer for tailgating and home gating, whether you're on your way to the stadium or watching from home. With brands you know and love like Cheez-Its, Reese's Pieces, King's First Charcoal, Clorox Wipes, and more. Dollar General saves you time and money every day.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Plenty of attention on Pittsburgh today, where the Steelers expect star pass rusher TJ Watt to participate in a team practice for the first time this season. Watt had only been doing individual drills at practice. Guaranteed money has been the sticking point in contract talks with the team. Coach Mike Tomlin has expressed optimism that Watt and the Steelers will finalize a new deal and that the 26-year-old will play in the season opener at Buffalo Sunday. For the latest on this story, tune into the 6 Eastern Sports Center on ESPN TV. Superstar quarterbacks Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, the favorites to win the NFL regular season MVP award. but Josh Allen has attracted more bets to win it than any other player at multiple sports books. At Caesars Sportsbook, Mahomes 5-1 odds, Rodgers, the reigning MVP, next at 10-1. Brady and Allen are each 12-1.
He's bald, he's opinionated, and he's here.
You're morally reprehensible, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Listen to Feinbaum, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by the Rocket City Trash Pandas. One more big home series coming up against Pensacola, and that's going to be a critical one, especially if the Trash Pandas can get it going a little bit in Birmingham and take, I think they got to go 4-2. They got to win that series in Birmingham is what they got to do. They got to come out of there. They got to go 4. They lost last night, so they got to win 4 these next 5 games to get that done. We spent some time talking Hall of Fame, Derek Jeter going in, and the fact that Derek Jeter in his time in the 13-year run of the New York Yankees making the playoffs every year, played more games, scored more runs, collected more hits than anybody ever in the history of baseball, and the next closest was Chipper Jones. And that Chipper had done, he was next in a 14-year run from 1991 to 2005, but never passed Jeter in any of those deals. And Jeter's Yankees won 4 World Series. Chipper's Braves, of course, won 1. In a text window, somebody says, by all accounts, Jeter was a very good leader. Now, this is fighting words right now. A winning player, no way to know, but I think that if he had been the Braves shortstop during that run, the Braves would have won more championships. Well, yeah, because you take them off the Yankees and you add them to the Braves, and maybe that's the case, but I know some people would probably could get in a fist fight over that comment. One of them may or may not be Josh Caray, the voice of the Trash Pandas, and he joins us for Caray's Corner on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, partner. How are you?
I am fantastic. Take Jeter off the Yankees and put him on the Braves in the 90s into the 2000s. The Braves winning more World Series.
Yeah. He's that good. And like you said, it takes him off the Yankees. And they had the availability, but just not, I think, the finances to get it done. I'm trying to think, who did the Braves have at short at that time? It would have been Walt Weiss was there, Rafael Furcal, Andrelton Simmons later.
Late, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, those are good players. They're not the Derek Jeter players. So, yeah, you put Derek on there, of course they win more.
But they didn't have a Chipper Jones third baseman during the early, and until they get A-Rod in there, they didn't have that kind of a third baseman. They would have Scott Brocious or Charlie Hayes, people like that. So, you could say that Chipper was the Derek of that team, the Derek Jeter of that team. It's interesting to note he was not a great, let's just be honest, and I'm a huge Jeet fan, but let's be honest, he was not a great shortstop. He was a serviceable shortstop. He was not a great shortstop, and he was not nowhere near the best shortstop on his team once A-Rod showed up there. Really what should have happened is Jeet should have went to third, and A-Rod should have played short. A-Rod is right behind Honus Wagner and Ozzie Smith, really, in terms of the WAR numbers, in terms of at shortstop, where Jeter on that same list is somewhere around 497 out of the top 500 shortstops that ever played. But he wasn't going to give that position up. That was just his spot, and that was it.
No, and the Yankees weren't going to force him to give it up because he's the captain. And when you're the captain of the number one MLB team in the number one media market in this country, you don't touch the captain. And at the end of the day, it was also partially a PR move. And A-Rod was smart for going in line with it. One, he got the chance to play on a winning ball club, and number two, it made him, at least at the time, look like a pretty good guy, because he wasn't pushing the Yankee captain out of his position. So it was a smart move all the way around, and sometimes you just take little bumps like that along the way in order to improve the team. And on top of all that, A-Rod wasn't exactly a bad third baseman either. He did just fine over there.
No, he did. There was no doubt about it. It was uncanny during Jeter's 20 years, though, with the Yankees, that every time something dramatic happened, and in the last hour I mentioned he was like the Forrest Gump of baseball. He was always in the middle of it. I mean, whether it was diving into the stands, whether it was the flip against the A's, whether it was the Mr. November hitting a home run, the first World Series game that bled into November, the 5 hits on the day he gets his 5,000 hits, a home run. I mean, it was always like, of course he did that. The hit on his last at bat. It was uncanny how clutch he was in those moments.
Yeah, and that's what makes legends, is you can be I'll never forget 1991, and I might be going a little off base here, but I remember Mark Lemke had a World Series to remember for the Braves. I think he had like 2 or 3 triples. He drove in the winning run in one ball game. He would have been the MVP of that World Series had Atlanta won it. And if you win a World Series MVP, you are etched in baseball lore. And so for Derek, of course, you've got to multiply that by about 100 because he played, 20 seasons with the Yankees and New York City and all that good stuff. And it's funny, you talk about him not, being a serviceable shortstop. Most of his top plays were defensive plays. Yeah, he had a couple of moments at the plate, but the running catch into the stands against Boston, those were the types of plays, and the flip against Oakland, those were the type of plays that I think he's more remembered for than anything he did with the bat. And the fact that he did it in big game situations, in the playoffs, against the Red Sox, whoever, that just magnifies it even more. So he was, everything fell right for him in his baseball career, and he's going to be rewarded with it forever, and especially on Sunday.
And he had a profile play that becomes iconic, similar to the jump man of Michael Jordan. His ability to the way he would feel the ball and then jump and make that throw to first in the air, and that kind of became his trademark.
Yeah, and that's what people want. I mean, that's the marketability around it, right? I mean, when you think of Michael Jordan and that Nike logo with that split jump he makes, and then Derek doing the same thing with the throw over to first. I mean, those are things you can throw up on billboards in New York City and people just gawk at it. So, a lot of this has to do with timing and where you are. And, Derek happened to do all this at a time when, athletes are revered and they are highly marketable. And he happened to do it in the number one media market in the country. So it all fell in place for him. And, he took full advantage of it.
Josh Caray with us here of the Trash Pandas, talking some baseball on the day that the Derek Jeter, along with Ted Simmons and Larry Walker, will be inducted, Marvin Miller. And then the Ford Frick. I'm a big Ford Frick fan. It started my senior year in high school. People think of it as something that's been around forever, and maybe they think that because 1978 was my senior year in high school that I've been around forever. But the first two that went in were the great Mel Allen and Red Barber. I mean, that made so much sense. Along the way, your grandfather, Harry Caray, he went in 1989, kind of a little longer than I thought maybe it would have taken to get him in. I am very surprised, to be honest with you, that your father, Chip Caray, is not in. I am very much surprised, I think, by that. I assumed he was, and I went down and I was looking at the list when I saw that Al Michaels was going in. And I'm an Al Michaels fan, but I never really thought of Al Michaels. He was in the middle of some very big moments of baseball, but I've never thought of Al Michaels as a baseball guy. I know he did the Reds. I know he did the Giants for a little while, the national stuff on ABC, but I don't think of him like a baseball guy. I was a little bit surprised that Al Michaels goes in, and I'm also surprised that Chip Caray is not in.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Skip Caray.
Yeah, it's all right. First off, Dad should be in, but so should Pete Van Wieren. So should Ernie Johnson Sr. So should Joe Nuxall. It's kind of the thing about the Ford C. Frick Committee is that we've got so many teams now, and the requirements to being considered for the award are so thin that there's just too many guys on the ballot. I mean, I remember Chip got onto the ballot, I want to say when he was 35, 36 years old, because he had met the threshold to being eligible. Well, if a 35, 36-year-old is on the Ford C. Frick ballot, what do you think that's going to do to the 65, 70-year-olds who are at the tail ends of their career? They're going to get overlooked. And I think Dad, Pete and Ernie, that's just kind of what's happened to them. They've just been caught in this logjam of great broadcasters, all of whom deserve to be in. And every year they only elect one person. And so it's just this very slow drip of people who are allowed to go in. And it's frustrating. I wish he were in. He should be in. As for, Al Michaels, Al's had a great career. I was surprised to see him get in as well. But I get it. I mean, he's a very talented broadcaster, and he brought a lot to the game. But, yeah, I got to admit, I was surprised to see him get in there, too.
Yeah. John Miller went in 11 years ago. I love John Miller. I think he's fantastic. But I fashion him a contemporary of your father, Skip, and I think John Miller, I think Skip Caray. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be that there's that much of a difference. Although John did the national stuff on ESPN, it doesn't feel like he's one of those guys that's still at it. That to me, I look at Ken Harrelson. I mean, your father, look, Ken Harrelson. I played golf with Ken Harrelson a couple of times. Ken Harrelson's a great guy. Ken Harrelson was, a little bit of a clown, on the air with his style and everything else. Skip Caray belongs in ahead of Ken Harrelson. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah. Well, and I agree. And I'm not just saying that as Skip Caray's son. I'm just saying that as a guy who follows broadcast. And I don't know Ken Harrelson at all. I think what part of the problem is, Tom, is that I think the Ford C. Frick Committee wants to be sure that the guys they induct are alive so they can be there to accept the award. And unfortunately, a lot of the people I just mentioned, my dad, Pete, Ernie, Joe Nuxall, they're all gone. And so it's like, if you induct them, that's fine, but it's so posthumous that does it really resonate? And I know it would resonate with people here in the Southeast that Dad got in. But it just is what it is. And I wish what they would do is do what they do with the players, which is create a veterans committee for broadcasters and go ahead and put in guys who are no longer with us but deserve to be in. I mean, I think that's the least that can happen, and maybe that's something that'll change over the next several years.
As you said, so many. They put it in two the first year with Mel Allen and Red Barber, but after that it's one a year, and there are so many. But yeah, you can have an old-timers guy, and you can have a current guy or a more contemporary guy, which would make sense. Josh Caray with us here.
No, the reason why I keep pushing on Pete and Ernie so much as well, Tom, is because that trio, that triumvirate, they really created baseball in the Southeast, and they're the reason why the Braves are to the South what the Red Sox are to New England, and it's one of the reasons why there's so much talent coming out of this when it comes to baseball. Those guys were the narrative to what was the foundation to baseball in the Southeast, which has become one of the great breeding grounds for talent in Major League Baseball. So, yeah, they played a vital role in helping grow the game in an area of the country that was only football up until that point. So that's a very important piece of history that I think MLB has forgotten. And we'll just continue plugging along, hoping that we can get them to remember that one day.
Tell us what's going on Saturday night down at the stadium. The boys are out of town. You'll be in Birmingham over the weekend with that deal. But tell us about the 9/11 tribute that's going on at Toyota Field.
Yeah, this is going to be great. We did this last year. It was our first installment of the 9/11 game. We're going to have a couple of nonprofits over there. The USA Patriots are going to be one of them, and then we're also going to have a local law enforcement 501(c) out there as well playing the softball game. And we're going to have a donation area for those groups as well. But this is a great way to honor them. for the sacrifices they've made, and of course honor those who died on 9/11. We did this last year, and we had it was our biggest non-Trash Panda event. I mean, I think we drew about 3,000 on a high school football Friday, and so it was really a successful event. And because of that, we're going to return it this year, and we expect a good crowd. I know Alabama plays Mercer, so that game should be well over with. We'll have fireworks after the ball game, but more importantly, we're going to be honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and those who died so tragically on one of the worst days in our history. So it'll be a very important event, and for a military community like Huntsville, like North Alabama, I know it will be greatly appreciated. So we're excited about it, and we're thrilled to have them out there.
Yeah, for those of you who are football fans, Alabama and Auburn with cupcake games that are in the afternoon. So those ones will be cleaned up and over with certainly by then. And then the Tennessee game is at noon, or check that, 11 o'clock Central Time. So the Tennessee Pitt game, the only really decent game outside of the Texas Arkansas game, which is a little bit later on, but that game will be over as well. So you Tennessee, Auburn, and Alabama fans, you can all head on down there to the stadium for that deal. Now, as to the team, here we go. I mean, this is a big. These last two series are huge to try and get into this championship series. You got Birmingham in Birmingham, 5 more, game behind Birmingham, but this is about percentage, right? I mean, they're not going to be making up games from what I understand. 2 games ahead of Birmingham in the loss column, but because they've had some games that weren't played, 1 game back overall. The percent. So all of this is going to come down to percentage, correct?
Yeah, it'll come down to that, and it's unfortunate, but due to weather and COVID and all that stuff, it's just a necessary evil. And like you mentioned, because we're a bus league, we can't be traveling all over the place, playing double headers and things like that. It's really unfortunate because Rocket City has had 5 games banged this year, and 5 of them were against last place teams, 3 against Tennessee and 2 more against Biloxi. So it's really unfortunate in that regard. But yeah, it'll come down to percentages, and Rocket City will just have to try and find a way. We're missing some people. We had a few pitchers that got called up. One of our players is now going to be playing for his national team as part of the Baseball European Championship. We have another big guy who's out injured, and so we're kind of coddling this all together. And I agree. I heard what you said earlier. I think you got to take 4, but if you get 3, it's not the end of the world either. You'll still get another head-to-head coming up next week against Pensacola. But yeah, you just got to kind of tread water this week and see where you are at the end of play Sunday.
Yeah, Pensacola at .519 winning percentage. The Trash Pandas at .515, so they're right there. Now, a couple of people asked me about there are playoff tickets on sale now for this championship series, which 2 of the games will be played at Toyota Field. If it comes down to that, most likely that's the way that would go. What happens if people buy playoff tickets and then they don't make it? Does that get applied? Do they get their money back, or does it get applied to season tickets for next year? How does that work?
Well, for the season ticket holders, it would apply to season tickets. For the single game holders, you would just get a reimbursement off that. And be sure to give our ticket office a call once that happens, and they'll be able to talk you through the process with all that. Frankly, if I'm a fan, I would just wait to see what happens after play on Sunday, just because you're going to have the ability to buy tickets. But if you want to go ahead and purchase now, go for it, and you should be able to get it back after the season if the Trash Pandas don't make it. And hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that would be that is true. All right, man. As always, I appreciate you. Hopefully, we can hang on to you after this season is over and into the baseball playoffs, so we can get a little midweek baseball into this football-heavy area. It's still good to talk a little baseball as the Atlanta Braves make their run to the playoffs now, holding at 2.5 games ahead of Philadelphia in the NL East. And, oh, by the way, I had said months ago, when they were flopping around 500, that their only shot was through the NL East, but really, they're right now. They're if they were somehow to fall, if the Phillies were to catch them, they would still be right there in the wild card mix for a one-game playoff against, either San Francisco or Los Angeles, who are, running away and hiding with the first wild card. But so they do have 2 entry points to the playoff. The best would be to win the NL East, but they now are right there, record-wise with the other teams that are fighting for that second wild card.
Yeah, and what's disappointing is, of course, last week they had a couple of opportunities to take down a really good team in L.A. and didn't. And then they split against a really bad Colorado team.
Yeah.
So you come home 2-5, but the good news is you're playing a lot of these soft teams who they beat up on about a month ago and went on that long winning streak. So, again, here's another chance to sprint out in front of everyone and try to create some distance heading into the last couple of weeks. So, they got the job done last night. They're at home. They should be comfy. And that's all you can ask for is that you take care of the teams that are playing beneath you and try to create some separation here. But, boy, I'm just not sure about this team in October. And I think we're all just happy to see them get there. But, let's just see what happens when they get that far. But I'm a little concerned about beyond this.
Well, it's just, the Giants and the Dodgers are just so good. And the Padres can be.
Yeah.
It's a mystery as to why they're, a lot of people thought the Padres would be what the Giants are. Nobody expected the Giants to be what the Giants are. But, man, those two teams. But you know what? You get in, you have a hot week, get a couple of great pitching performances. Bats go cold, for one of the other teams that you're playing, and who knows? That's why you just got to try and get there and see what happens next. But they do need to get do some damage here down the stretch, certainly in this run against Washington, Miami, Colorado, because then after that they do have another trip out to San Francisco. Why in God's name are they going back to California? And then San Diego, they were out there playing Los Angeles. I don't understand. They went all the way out there. They played Los Angeles and Colorado and come back, but they have one more West Coast trip coming up to San Francisco, Arizona, and San Diego. So and then finish against the Phillies and the Mets. So they got to make hay here in the next week and a half.
Brother, you are preaching to the choir. That's something that drove my dad nuts because they would go out to the West Coast all the time because the Braves run the West. Even here in the minor leagues, we go down to Biloxi. I don't understand why we don't go over to Pensacola as well. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But I don't create the schedule. But here's what you hope for. One, you take care of business against the bad teams. But 2, you want to see them build some confidence against San Francisco, who they took 2 of 3 from already, and just try to get some confidence in them when they're facing these higher caliber ball clubs. And like you said, if you get into October, especially in a best-of-5 series, when it all comes down to the pitching, hey, who knows what can happen. So you're right. Just continue beating up on the little guys, and then try to hold your own against the big ones and see where you are in October.
By the way, I don't think Pearl, Mississippi is that far from Biloxi either. My gosh, right? I think you drive right by Pearl to get to Biloxi, and didn't play those guys at all this season, which, it's mind-boggling a little bit.
Unless we get to the playoffs.
Unless you get to the playoffs. Well, they're not going to be in the Oh, yeah, they are. They are. They're the ones that are kicking butt in the South, right?
Yeah, they'll be the number 1 seed, and everyone else fighting for number 2.
Should a Braves fan find a little solace in that? Do you draw a correlation and say, well, wait a minute, the Double-A team is just outstanding. Just lapping the field. Does that mean good things down the road for the Braves, or just happen to be a good Double-A team?
No, I think it could mean good things down the road. They've got great pitching. Their pitching is absolutely fantastic. I haven't seen them, so I couldn't tell you who's who. Their hitting is not very good. They're kind of like the Trash Pandas in that they don't have a high average, but they hit a lot of home runs. So I would not expect to see anything from their everyday players, but their pitching staff is legit. So that's something to keep an eye on. If anyone, if it's a Braves off day, check in at MILB.com and check out a Mississippi game because they got some studs out there on the mound.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate you so much. And Josh Caray with us on a Caray's Corner. Thanks, Josh.
All right, be good, brother.
Let's get a break in here. We'll come back. We are open lines the rest of the way. Steele said on Twitch they don't want to hear the song anymore because when he binge watches Yellowstone, he hears that.
It must have been like a commercial during his binge watching.
Yeah, but when you binge watch a show, you don't watch commercials.
Well, actually, if you like, for me, for instance, YouTube TV, you can record stuff, and so like when you rewatch a show, it'll have the commercials in it.
You can't skip through them. You can't.
Yeah, you can skip through them, but I mean, you never know. You may have it. It may just be like a. Sometimes they do have commercials that will get thrown in too while you're watching a stream like that.
So he's not saying that the song.
Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night.
So that song. Fancy like that is not a song that is part of the show Yellowstone. I wouldn't think. I love that.
No.
Okay.
They got to throw in their advertisement in between.
Okay. All right. Well, when I watched it, Yellowstone, when I binged the first 3 seasons of Yellowstone, I didn't have commercials.
Because he may not have been watching it on Hulu or whatever it's on.
Yeah, I think I was watching it. Well, the Paramount or whatever they call it.
Yeah, Paramount, which I'll never pay for.
I was watching on Paramount without Paramount Prime.
The only show I watch on Paramount is Bar Rescue.
Yeah. All right, let me get a break. We will come back. Open lines are next. Jump in. 256-5764-977. 256-5764-977. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Tomorrow night, the 2021 NFL season kicks off in Tampa. The Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay an 8-point favorite, the over-under 51.5. Cowboys 2-8 straight up and against the spread in its last 10 road games. They're 7-1 straight up in its last 8 games against Tampa Bay. BMW Championship underway Thursday. Victor Hovland plus 1,000. Shane Lowry, Terrell Hatton at plus 1,800. Alex Nord, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Tommy Fleetwood at plus 2,000. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega will battle for the featherweight title in the main event for UFC 266 in Vegas September 25th. Volkanovski the favorite, minus 170. Ortega at plus 140.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Bob Baumhauer and 97.7 ESPN The Zone have teamed up to bring you a huge opportunity this fall. Each week, come on down to Baumhauer's during the drive on Thursdays between 5 and 7 and register to win a Lunch Bunch gift certificate for 6 to Baumhauer's. But wait, there's more. Each weekly winner will then be placed into a drawing for Bob's tickets to the LSU-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, complete with an invitation to Bob's exclusive pregame party at Baumhauer's tent on the quad. Stay tuned to 97.7 ESPN The Zone for other opportunities to sign up and win Bob's tickets.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Nothing beats a great burger to celebrate Labor Day weekend. And at Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we couldn't agree more. And if you haven't tried our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness, then head on down and try one of Bad Daddy's award-winning burgers now. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer. Celebrate Labor Day weekend and do the cooking with a trip to Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. on the Parkway between Bob Wallace and Governors.
Have you got your tickets yet? Single game tickets for the Rocket City Trash Pandas full season are still available. Every Friday and Saturday night at Toyota Field ends with fireworks, and after the completion of every Sunday game, kids get to run the bases. You can reserve your spot at Toyota Field for any of the remaining Trash Pandas home games right now. Go to TrashPandasBaseball.com to get your tickets while supplies last. Trash Pandas Baseball. Ignite the season.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
This is Eli Gold of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. A new contract and expanded playoffs with the same results. Listen to Alabama football on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3-day beard I don't plan to shave, and it's a goofy thing, but I just gotta say, hey, I'm a doing all right.
One of my favorite songs of all time.
I think I'll make me some homemade soup. Feeling pretty good.
It's not good to dance to in the chair. Not good to chair dance to. But it is one of my favorite songs. Welcome back. This segment of the show brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. All your service needs are at Woody Anderson Ford. They can take care of you. There's no need to choose any place else other than the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. Whether you got a Ford or not, go on down there and check it out at Woody Anderson Ford. You won't believe the way they take care of their garage. Their service lanes are amazing. Their personnel are so knowledgeable. It's like they know everything that you walk in, and you think, okay, here, let me tell you about this. Like, yeah, we know what that is. No, you don't understand. It's making this clunking sound when I put it. Yeah, we know what that is. One time I had my shifter lever. It was like I can't get it in the gear. Yeah, there's a little grommet at the end of the we got to change that out. We'll take care of that. Take 10 minutes. They got it all figured out. Woody Anderson Ford. Check them out. All right, phone lines are open if you want it. 256-576-4977. I don't know what to do with this song. I guess I should delete it forever, but I might put it in my music on my music page. I might. Now, what did you say? What was the song that would give you a little south or something like that? It was something along those lines.
South
right?
on ya.
You got that?
I did have it. I think I deleted it. But I
Why
can
would
get
you
it up.
delete it?
No.
I just didn't have time for it then.
Yeah, no. I was looking at other
that-
things and trying to, and I think I clipped over it. Here you
Is
go.
that a song that was written specifically for football opening, or is that a song that is a song? Because I've never heard that song.
Yeah, no, it's a Luke Combs song. That's why I said Luke Combs earlier, and I was like, I swear I've seen that name before.
But is it
Yeah.
a Luke Combs regular song that you hear on country radio, or is it a song specifically written for college football?
I don't know. It says SEC Network College Football 2021 Anthem, so he may have just wrote it for
Yeah,
them.
see,
It
that's
might
what
be
I'm
his
saying.
song, though, because, like, Coming to Your City is, like, a real song, isn't it?
But it was modified,
Right.
For the
Right, because it was a real song, and then they modified
Right.
it. So I think this is a real song, too. It's probably just modified.
Can you give me a taste?
Here you go. Well, I'm looking at... Sorry, I'm doing clipping, too. There's a little Josh Carey for you. Here you go.
Pick that up a little. Yeah, I don't even know what they're saying. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, as funky as I get.
That's not even close. That's trying to be hip. That's trying to be hip right there.
I mean, that's as hip as I can get.
That's like if your dad tries to rap.
So I need, what is it, get a little south in you? I need to get that.
South on You.
South on You?
By Luke Combs.
I need to get that on my
We can work on that.
My music board. Because
you
I
want
have
it on your music board? You don't want bumper music?
No, I have a spot. Well, yeah, it would be great bumper music. It would be tremendous bumper music, but I want it on my board because I have a spot for it. I can put it in this spot.
Because you know I'm all about that bass,
I can get it in there.
It can be good football music, too. South on You.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got...
You're going to be a football player when you go away. Today is the best day of your life. Believe it.
He might be the finest quarterback produced in the last 10 years.
That's from A Football Life. I like that theme from A Football Life.
That one's always just like, I always love Football Life, man. I can watch that anytime. Doesn't matter who the person is.
Oh, it's fantastic. Do I need to take this off of my my music board?
Yeah, I'm gonna take
I was wondering where it went.
Can I leave that on my board or no?
I was wondering where that went. I was going to play that for some bumper music, but I knew you had it in your little file, so
I got it there. And I got
that's still
themes.
a catchy song. Like, there's nothing wrong with that song. And I love the dance. I play Red Dead Redemption, and so like every time I play that game, I think about that song every time.
Now, Friday, as opposed to football music, this week only. Friday being that it's it's the eve of 9/11, 20th anniversary. It is, that's a thing. We are going to be proud Americans.
Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
Now, Grizz, I want that one in the rotation, but I also want the new one in the rotation. There's a new one, so you got to find that on the interwebs. There's
with Lee?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a new Proud to Be an American that was redone. It was done with the Air Force, band and all that kind of good stuff. And then I got fight songs. I got theme songs. NBA. SEC on CBS.
Let's go.
Am I the only one that gets like little chill bumps when they hear that part of it? With the SEC on CBS music?
I do. I always did it when College Game Day came on every morning.
Yeah, but
get like all sweaty palm.
I like this better than the College Game Day. This part right there. That gets me fired up.
Gary Danielson and Vern Lundquist. That's all I think about when I hear that.
Yeah. See what else I got on here. Let's get you fired up. It's my guy.
Goldberg.
Man, that's good stuff right there. Greatest college fight song ever written this side of the Notre Dame fight song and Hail to the Victors. Trying to be objective there. But even in the Notre Dame fight song is my favorite.
This is probably like one of my favorite NFL songs when we do Football Friday, like every like when we do Football Friday right here. Let me play this one for you. Hold on.
Yeah. The London Philharmonic did that, you know?
Oh yeah. I love this song. Every time
what
I
about
hear
this
it.
one?
It's one of my favorite ones.
I have one on my board, but I'm not sure which one it is. It's that one, yeah.
We have that one. We actually have that one in here.
And I like The Autumn Wind is a Raider. Autumn Wind is a Raider.
See, that last one that you played, I swear we could use that one for Lee Sterling. I know we have to use
it's
ride.
got a little
it
bit
does sound like a little bit like riding a horse. Just like the one before is like surfing, you know?
The Bryce Young podcast will debut with Jake Crane from the J-Boy Show, right? Doesn't Jake come on the morning show sometimes?
Yes, sir.
He's
he was
pretty
on
talented.
Thursday of last week.
He's a pretty talented guy, and it's something that is his star is rising good. But Jake Crane will be doing it along with Colin Cowherd. Now, this is as big for Jake, to be honest with you, as I think it is for Bryce. I mean, Bryce is going to be getting more money for it, but this is a big break for Jake Crane, I think, to be hosting this Bryce Young podcast along with Colin Cowherd. I don't know if this is a three-man deal or if it's just on the Colin Cowherd network or if Colin's going to be involved in it. But if there's anyone that can draw something out that's interesting out of Bryce, it would be Colin and Jake, because you know what's going to happen. Otherwise, you're just going to get...
We keep the main thing, making sure that we keep the main thing.
I mean, that's what you're going to get. Player talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're talking about this being like a 35-minute... a podcast, 40-minute podcast. That's a long podcast. For a podcast,
right?
That is very, very long.
No more than an hour. No more than an hour.
No more than
45.
18 to 20 minutes.
Really?
A podcast should be... Yes. Podcasts should be 18, 22 minutes. Podcast should be in and out. Nobody wants to listen.
Here's the thing. If he's trying to
keep
keep the main thing, and I get it. I mean, Bryce Young looked great in that Miami game.
That was the main thing.
But how is doing this the main thing? You know what I mean? You're going out of your way to talk on a podcast with two big timers, and while the rest of your team is practicing or studying or
it'd be at night.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I'd be recording it on a Thursday night, but yeah, you would think he'd have his nose in the play. But, but they're not because
I'm not calling him out for it.
Making sure that we keep the main thing.
Well, the main thing is the NIL money. The main thing is getting paid.
Thing
That's why the main thing is the main thing.
I mean, and that's the thing is I'm not gonna stop the man from making money, but like that at the end of the day, I mean, he's already got 6 figs, so.
Seven figs.
Or 7 figs, sorry.
Figs.
Well, what is this?
This is the main
thing. We keep the main thing.
This is the main thing. The thing is, it's a...
You know how I do?
It's a 40-minute conversation, 45-minute conversation that they'll have with him on a phone on a Thursday night after the hay is in the barn.
Right.
So, okay. I mean, I don't think that this will... I mean, this is what kids are doing anyway. They're talking and they're doing podcasts. They're doing their own little thing.
I wonder if he's a gamer. He probably is. He's a young guy.
Bob Uecker's Hall of Fame induction speech was the greatest Hall of Fame induction speech ever. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Grizz,
Very
with
dull.
all this stuff that we put up
Yeah.
on the website and everything like that, being that today is Hall of Fame Day, we really should put up Bob Uecker's Hall of Fame speech just so people can listen to it if they want to. They can go there and hear it. It was Bob Uecker's Hall of Fame speech was spectacular. I encourage all of you to go to the YouTubeage and look up Bob Uecker's Major League Baseball Hall of Fame speech. It is unreal. It is, and Badger Larry actually sent me the link to it. And if it wasn't the end of the show, I'd pull out some of the highlights of it and share some of that with you because it's incredible. Tanya Snyder is Dan Snyder's wife, and apparently she is somehow involved in the renaming of the Washington Redskins football team. Okay, they are down. They have 3 finalists, but they're announcing the 8 names, and they're down to 3 finalists. And I don't know if they're going to post the 3 names for the fans to choose or what. But these, with no further ado, these are the 8 potential names of the Washington football team. You ready, Grizz?
I'm ready.
Red Hogs, the Washington Red Hogs.
That's awful. That's awful.
No, I don't like it. Do we like that one?
No, that's awful.
Yeah.
Like, go back to the... No, we can't. We can't go back to the old name.
How about the Washington Defenders?
Pathetic performance.
I don't think I like that one either.
Washington Defenders?
Washington Defenders.
And they're going to be like another jet or like a frigate class or something.
Maybe it's a ship or something. But,
Yeah.
Defenders implies, that we're defending the country, which takes artillery, and people might be offended by our military.
But they didn't like warriors, and they were going to use like a GI from World War II as the logo.
What the Washington Armada?
Missed it by that much.
That's
I like Americans better than Armada. Washington Armada.
Have a big ship on the side of their head.
I don't like that one. How about the Washington Presidents?
You blew it!
No.
Wow, that's awful.
The Presidents?
Just have like a different president, like right
whatever
there in the
the current
middle.
president is on there.
No, just like do the different coins.
Forget the Washington
Every game.
President. All right, how about the Washington Brigade?
Is that another horse?
No, a brigade is a military term.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I don't think it's
what
a
do you think
horse
they're going to
brigade.
use as a? Yeah, they would probably
I don't
use
mind-
some kind of animal for that.
I don't
would
mind
think.
Washington Brigade. How about the Washington Commanders?
Yeah,
Not bad.
That sounds good. I still like Red Wolves. I still thought that was always a great one.
That's the other one. Washington Red Wolves.
I'm sorry. I got that all wrong.
I don't like it.
I like the Red Wolves.
What the hell is a red wolf?
I mean, it just could be just like a wolf. I mean, you just.
Then why is it a red wolf? It's a fox.
I mean, they're
What-
red.
What is a
They're
red
red.
wolf?
They are red.
Somebody did a design for it. It was like the R, like the old Redskins logo.
Right.
The R with the tail. Instead of a feather, it would be like a fox tail. Where the feather used to be on
Right.
the R. And
I've seen some great graphics that the Falcons should have done instead of the jerseys they have now.
And then the last one is the Washington football team. They're not allowed to use the NFL already told them no on that.
But I like it with the numbers and the color scheme. I mean, I think the numbers work.
The numbers are fine.
Yeah.
It would be finer if it had the stripe on the helmet.
Okay.
It's too plain with just the numbers and nothing on the helmet down the middle. I put the stripe on the helmet, and you can use that with any of these any of these names probably, unless you're going to have an actual logo. I don't know. Of this, Washington Commanders, Washington Brigade.
What if they have the
Of these, I like best Washington Warriors, which they will not do.
Yeah,
they don't want to do it because it's imagery and it's native imagery, and I'll fight somebody on that because a wounded warrior is not a Native American.
But a
warrior is a member of our military. Our military are warriors, okay? And to call them the Washington Warriors would not only honor Native Americans but would honor our wounded warriors, the people who go out there and who risked their lives for us. That's what I think. Now, let me get a break in here. We'll come back and wrap it up next. It's Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625. This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
Drinking coffee straight from the pot. Power move. Wearing a bathrobe to work. Power move. Switching to super fast, extra reliable internet from WOW. Power move. Switch and save with WOW Internet for just $19.99 a month. It's switching season, so make a move with our best deal of the year. Get the speed you need starting with Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, ask how to get $200 on us. Sign up at wowway.com today.
Wow.
Limited to new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
While other stations keep changing their lineup,
Yeah!
we keep plugging away.
Did you lose your mind all of a sudden, or was it a slow, gradual process?
Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit
Tomorrow we will have a Beat the Big Dog Thursday for you. I'll have 6 big games. Now I'm going to mix in, it'll be 3 college and 3 NFL as we open up the NFL season as well this weekend. It's going to be a busy day on the show tomorrow, but we will get that in. Also tomorrow we'll preview all the high school action coming up this weekend with Tom Perkins and our TOC Prep Sports Report. We'll have that. Steve Merrill will join us as well from Pro Sports Info. And we'll get his thoughts on the games that are coming up this weekend, both the big college games and the pro games. And also, Grizz, it's time to set our fantasy teams. All right, so we need to get that in. Am I supposed to get a notice or anything from ESPN that says I can go in there? And I assume that, my commissioner, Smokey Mike, has entered all of our teams, right?
Well, if you finally accepted his invite to the league,
I did on Saturday.
All right, so he should be able to just put everybody's team in very easily. I really like how they do it, but it's very easy to put them all in. And honestly, if you go look into your ESPN Fantasy app, it should be there, and you should be able to look at your roster.
I don't do that.
Usually it sends you alerts, too, on your email, or you can as the league manager, too.
Yeah, I didn't get anything that said, okay, you go ahead and set your team.
Maybe check your roster, or maybe he hasn't put the rosters in yet.
Well, no, I got to believe he put them in. You know what I mean? Don't you think he put them in?
I don't know if it's going to necessarily notify you that your roster is ready, but I think it did with mine because I think I retweeted my top pick or whatever.
Okay, I can set my team. I'm looking at it right now. I'm playing my Woods going full Chubb.
I'm the Tanyan Harding slashers.
These team names. Gotta check the team names.
I got Kittle me this.
Yeah. We will be going. We will have Buddy Andrade on from E2G Sports tomorrow as well, helping us pick our teams. Setting our teams up. So get your questions ready for Fantasy Week 1. All right, coming up next, it's Chuck Oliver, Paul Feinbaum, and then The Drive with Wes and Steve, all right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the